Future trading involves risk and is not suitable for all investors. Content provided in this segment is meant for educational purposes and is not a solicitation to buy or sell commodities.
Hi, welcome to the September 25th edition of Basis Loaded with Joe Schmit. I am Joe Schmit. This episode, as always, is produced by Paige Driscoll, and it is now officially fall. What better way to celebrate these morning lows in the 50s and highs in the 70s than with the latest from the NDPSR report? Let's start with butter. This butter number came in at 318. That's versus a CME weekly average of 315.10, so that's a really nice basis. Plus 3 is well above our expected basis of 2-cent positive basis. However, at that elevated level and prior to butter heading significantly lower, the manufacturer was unable to move a lot of volume. Just a little bit over 1.7 million pounds, about half of what our expected volume would be. So a nice price. And that's even with 14 loads trading at 302 essentially last week at the CME. So good volume at the CME at a lower level, still able to achieve a plus 3 positive basis, but the manufacturer unable to move a lot of weight at the high end of the range. And then up next is cheese. We'll start with the blocks. 223.65. That is a flat basis to the CME 1 week average of 223.63. So almost right on the money as far as flat basis goes. Of course, in the block, we're used to anywhere from a 2 to 3 cent positive basis, so that's a little bit of a disappointment. And we even traded 7 loads at the CME last week at 227. So we had 7 loads at an elevated level at the CME, still flat basis. And even at that flat basis, the manufacturer discounted to move weight and was unable to even move north of 10 million pounds. So well below our expected volume in the block. Basis also falling short, coming in at only a flat basis. In the barrels, 234.11. That's a plus 2 to the CME 2 week average of 232.24. So nice basis there. Below our expected 3 to 6 cent positive basis, but positive basis is impressive at 2 cents over. Possibly the 11 loads that we traded at the CME last week, just off of the all-time high at 257, helped a little bit to pull that basis up. The 11 loads traded at the CME also padded the volume here, and wait for it. Look at this barrel volume. North of 13.7, almost 13.8 million pounds, and the barrel volume on the NDPSR above our expected volume threshold for the first time in a long time. Really, on this whole trek up to all-time highs in the barrel, volume has been lagging. Here, volume above. So mission accomplished on the part of the manufacturer, able to move outsized volume at the high end of the barrel trading range. Certainly a victory for the barrel manufacturer. And you'll notice, if you take the CME weekly average, you have a 9-cent premium to the barrel. Here on the NDPSR, with the increased basis, it's about a 10.5-cent premium for that barrel over the block. Just get rid of it. Only kidding. The barrel really padding the pocket of the dairymen in recent weeks. And then up next is whey, 52.96. That is a minus 4 basis to the CME 1 week average of 57.25. We traded 12 loads at the CME last week at an even higher level than that, 12 loads at 59. Basis here still falling short relative to the benchmark at the CME. However, if you compare this week's NDPSR average to the September 7th, which would be the prior week's NDPSR for sales that occurred last week, manufacturers are able to call more than a penny premium to prior week's NDPSR, and at that elevated level north of 7 million pounds. So the volume returns to the whey complex, big weight moving here at almost a penny and a quarter cent premium to prior week's NDPSR. So a victory in the whey this week for the manufacturer. And then, of course, next week we'll be working off of this 52.84 level, this September 14th NDPSR. And it'll be interesting if we can get this whey price to take a leg up on next week's NDPSR. And then lastly, non-fat, 129.65. That's what a gut punch. That's a -6 to the CME 1-week average of 135.50. We traded 32 loads at the CME last week. That is the volume leader at the CME last week. Non-fat holds the belt currently, and those 32 loads traded at 138.5. So you would expect that went a long way to pull basis up. Nope, -6. And even more disappointing is that -6 basis, the manufacturer was able to move just a little bit north of 15 million pounds. So the story in non-fat is disappointing price and disappointing volume. So this is week 3 of 4 for the September pricing period. Currently getting a September class 3 of 23.27, September class 4 22.33. So after months of having class 4 over, we now have a typical relationship between class 3 and class 4, with that class 3 carrying around an 80 to 90 cent premium to class 4. If you carry current CME equivalents out through the entire October pricing cycle, currently getting October class 3 of 23.92 with an October class 4 of 21.55. Still a little math to go into that October pricing. So we'll wait and see what they have in store for us at the CME in the days to come. Until then, on behalf of Paige and the entire Insights team, I'm Joe. See you next week. Bye.